So another week and another big drop with OpenAI. This time they released what they're calling their 4.0 model, not to be confused with 4.0, which is where we were before, or 4.5, which might be halfway to GPT-5, or GPT-5. It's pretty exciting, and the internet is really a Twitter over a lot of the functionality that they've now built into the app, which is far more functional now as far as interrogatory going back and forth. It has a much more personal vibe to it, which frankly a lot of people are finding pretty creepy. It's a little bit flirtatious, but it's way faster than it was in the past. It's also enabled some visual functionality that allows it to interpret things like a handwritten math program and serve as a tutor walking a user through that. Also can identify objects, also can do near-synchronous translation, all kinds of cool demos that are floating around out there. But to be honest, that's not really what's exciting for me, because that's not my user pattern. I'm not really going to use GPT as a therapist or a friend or whatever direction they're heading that way. It's pretty cool, and I could see my kids using it, for example, particularly for the tutoring aspects of it. But some of the things that I am excited about is, first, the browser version is really fast. It's definitely much faster than it was before, and there feels like there's a noticeable improvement in scoring. And there's Chat Arena and numerous other platforms out there are scoring it higher than GPT-4. So it has gotten more intelligent, as it were. I'm also really excited about the promise of a new browser-based app, not browser, a iOS-based app on Mac, which is supposed to launch really soon for Mac users in the next days or weeks. And this is cool because it will sit within the OS ecosystem and allow you to use GPT functionality essentially sitting on top of other apps. Currently, I use an app called Bolt AI that does something similar to this via API, but assumedly, we should soon be able to use GPT functionality within apps that aren't currently AI enabled. So I'm a big fan of the Mindstream email platform right now, but it lacks entirely in AI functionality. And I'm sure that's on their roadmap, but I'd rather keep Mindstream than have to adapt to some other app. And this may allow me to use GPT right within Mindstream in order to construct emails as I go. Also, the 4.0 model will now be the default model for free users. This is really powerful because I think that what OpenAI has recognized is what a lot of us have found, that the 3.5 model really isn't that useful or that smart. I mean, it's incredible, don't get me wrong, but versus the 10x intelligence of the 4.0 model, it's disappointing to people. So you have millions of users who don't really know that there's a great advantage in paying for these models, that we're using an inferior model and thus having an inferior experience. Now all of those people are going to have the opportunity to use a frontier model for free, which is a huge unlock for people. Behind the scenes, it looks like the cost of tokens is about half as much as it was before. So that's a big unlock for those of us who are doing development in terms of our variable costs. And yeah, in general, it's really neat. Now, it's not a 5.0, it's not a game changer, but I already see signs that it's going to replace Claude, which has been my dominant LLM in use until recently. So definitely check it out. Know that it's rolling out to Teams and Plus users first, and it should already be in place. Also, the memory functionality is, of course, has been launched just recently. I have a video in the books about that as well. So yeah, the pace of change continues.